Excited to welcome everyone to the film room. I'm Coach Kara, and we've been able to bring in a secret weapon here, Coach G, the greatest coach in the history of Duke women's basketball, and have an opportunity to spend some time with her and just talk through some of the incredible moments that you've had here at Duke, and some of the things that our current group now is trying to get to. So we're gonna roll the tape and
let's Let's see what's up there.
Yeah, go down memory lane a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So this was. Look at you, Coach G.
Well, I look young. Woo!
Do you remember this game?
Vaguely.
Vaguely, okay.
I remember, we were so wanting to win the ACC tournament. We went to the Final Four before we won our first ACC tournament championship.
Is that right?
Yeah. So that's how hard it is to win the ACC tournament championship.
Yeah, close game too. And
it
of
was
course,
a great game.
Yeah, in Duke, Carolina, yeah.
I look a little stressed. Oh, they would press full court. That was when we were trying to finish the game. So we threw over the top.
So you drew that up?
That one right there, yeah, we had worked on it because they beat us before with that very same play. So I thought, well, we'll just use it against them.
Yeah.
And that sealed the deal right there.
That's awesome. So that's the first ACC tournament championship in Duke women's basketball history.
Absolutely,
yeah,
and it was. You always remember that first one because it's so joyful.
Yeah, yeah.
Cutting down that net for the first time is just an amazing experience.
So then you make it back the next year.
We did.
And now
we
you're
were
playing
determined.
against NC State.
Yep, and we just had more experience, and that was definitely to our advantage. Georgia Schweitzer, one of the all-time great players in the history, of Duke women's basketball. Rochelle Parent down low. She was so undersized, but she had the biggest heart probably of anybody on the team. So it was an amazing experience.
And then that was Elena's freshman year.
Yes.
And one of the things that has always been interesting to me to ask you about was the relationship between Georgia and Elena, because Georgia was an All-American in the 2001 season, and one of the most incredible players that Duke has had. And then Elena comes in with this incredible amount of talent. What was their relationship like that one year that they played together?
I think it was amazing because they are two of the greatest competitors that I ever got to coach. So they both wanted to win more than anything. And Georgia, when she was a freshman, I would not say she was tough. I would say she was soft. And she grew and she became one of the toughest, if not the toughest kid that I ever coached. So it was a process. So when Elena came in, she had all the skills, all the talent. She was National Rookie of the Year, but she was so quiet. She did not lead vocally, but by that time, Georgia was a great vocal leader. I mean, she wasn't afraid to get in your face, tell you what you needed to do, and Elena needed that. She needed that leadership. So it was kind of like a big sister, little sister thing that they learned and grew from each other.
Yeah, it's this group, I mean, Elena, there's no doubt, changed the program. I mean, with her ability on the offensive and defensive end, and when you have older players that embrace that talent and understand that that's something that can help them be better and help the team be better, that's a great thing.
And it helped that she was so humble.
Yeah.
She was not cocky at all. She was confident. She worked harder than anybody else on the floor, so she earned their respect early.
Yeah, you got to have that. So then next year we're right back in the same thing. But now it's Duke Carolina for the championship. And now Georgia's gone.
Right.
Georgia's gone. And so this 2002 team has a special place in your heart, I think, just because of all the adversity that you guys faced. And certainly, I think this was the team, correct me if I'm wrong, that had just 8 players.
8 players.
Yeah. What was that like going through the year with these guys?
It was very difficult at times. When we first went down to 8 players, I thought, what are we going to do? Literally only 8. People say we only play 8. We only literally had 8 on our bench.
Wow.
And I'll never forget, we were going to Virginia and we had just gone down to 8 because a couple kids transferred, and I was devastated. And Joanne Boyle, our assistant, was in the hospital.
Wow.
And she was having major surgery, and I'm like, we might not see Joanne. She had to take a hiatus from the team while she recovered after the surgery, but so it was such a devastating moment. We went to the hotel, had a team meeting, and I'm like, this is it, this is us, this is all we got. And everybody's gonna have to step up. And Georgia Schweitzer came back to help because Joanne was gonna be out, so she was on my staff then. And it was an amazing moment of unity where we just knew we were going to come together, and I don't think we lost after that until we got to the Final Four. It was just, it was a moment of where very great clarity on who we were going to be together with just 8 people. Our motto was 8 is enough, and it was.
Yeah. So this is in the midst then of that win streak that you had all the way to the Final Four. This is the ACC title game.
Yeah, and Elena was just on another level. She would not be denied. We in Carolina went back, it seemed like every year back and forth. We had...
Look at little Mo Curry.
And Big Mo, yes.
Yeah.
She was so tough, so strong, so determined. But Carolina had a great team as well, so it was a tremendous time for the entire conference. It's just fun to look back and see all these games. It brings back so many great memories. Yeah, you see that picture's pretty small.
Yeah, there's only 8 of them. Yeah, there's only 8 of them for sure. Yeah. So now we're in the next year. So now we're going for 4 in a row. This is 2003, and there's Isis.
Isis Tillis, one of the most versatile players that the game had seen. She was 6'3", and she could really play any position.
Yeah.
She was a tough matchup for anybody because she could shoot the 3, she ran the floor well and could take you down lows.
And so that was Elena's
4 in a row.
Yeah, it was 4 in a row. That was Elena's junior year and Shayna and Michelle's senior year. And then this is 2004.
And this is in Lindsey Harding. This was an amazing run for all of us, but Lindsey Harding was, again, there's Isis, and Lindsey was tough to defend. She was voted Defensive Player of the Year that year.
Oh, wow. There's a lot of talent on this court. Holy cow. Yeah. Elena, Mo, Isis, Lindsey, Misty.
Yeah, and they shared the ball, and nobody cared who scored. That was the great thing, is that they were all willing to sacrifice for the greater good.
Yeah.
5.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was special.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Allie Bales, she was on that team as well, she held the national record for block shots forever. Just got broken a few years ago.
Yeah.
Isis was MVP.
Isis was MVP on that game. Wow, that's great.
Yes.
Uh-oh, Coach G.
I did 5 push-ups or pull-ups.
There we go.
Now, there's no way. Those are the good old days.
Okay, I won't say if. I'll say when we get there. I hope that's not what I have to do.
They're gonna expect it. I'm telling you that right now.
A pull-up.
Those are all the pull-ups.
That's awesome.
It got to 5, and I was like, oh Lord.
Oh man.
You will never see me do another pull-up again.
That's great.
Shayna Moe started that, and then I always had to outdo her. So
she would do that on the rim.
Oh yeah.
Shayna would.
Yep.
Ah. Okay.
And then I was sore for like 2 weeks afterwards, but it was worth it.
I can only imagine. And that just is a small part of, I think, your era of Duke women's basketball, which really uplifted it into the national spotlight and one of the dominant programs of its time. And really is inspiring, I think, not just for me as a current coach of Duke, but also for our players. A lot of them coming here. We talked a lot about what we already know Duke could be, like what it's already been. Like it's not trying to reinvent the wheel, so to speak, or not trying to like make up something in our head that's never been done. It's something that has been done and something that can be done. And so many great memories and so many great players and so many great teams. And you talk about the unselfishness, like that's something we've tried to build, in our group.
Well, the beauty is, as a former coach, I can see it.
Yeah.
So I love watching your team and this program because it's step by step. We see you putting the pieces together because you've got to have all those pieces, and they have to have the right attitude, and they've got to have the right commitment and the trust. And so as I watch year by year, it's like it's coming. Like I get goosebumps because watching this team this year, they keep growing from last year to this year, and I know what you got in the pipe coming for next year, and that's here that'll be healthy next year. And it's like it's just a matter of time and experience, and that's what they're gaining right now. So it's an exciting time for me, but for all the Duke fans about what's coming.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I mean that means a lot, and I think having Alumni Weekend and having the group here and having the current team being able to interact with the past players and vice versa was inspiring and motivating for everybody, you know, to see that. But you're talking about foundation, like it's easy for us to put up highlights of the 5 straight ACC tournament championships, right? But it started well before that. I mean, when you got here in '93 and kind of building the program and putting those pieces in place. And so there's just so many great highlights. I mean, listen, you know how I feel about DMV. This is one of DMV's finest, Kara Lawson,
Absolutely.
Right? Just an incredibly clutch player. Unbelievable shot here.
And Kara, yeah, she hit a shot to send it to overtime, and then she hit this shot to win the game. Wow. So she hit 2 shots in the same game at the buzzer for us to win. She was my first recruiting class, and she was key. It was between us and Stanford.
Okay.
Stanford had just come off winning the national championship.
Yeah.
We had just come off coming in last place in the ACC.
That sounds like some of my early recruiting phone calls when I first got here. I was like, hey, we're last, but we're not going to be that long.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
So it took that. She was the key first player that we got, because she could make those plays. She was like going on skates when she went up the court. So so it takes courage for those first kids to trust that you're going to help them be the best they can be, and that this program's going to head to the top.
100%. For me, that player is Ashlyn Jackson. You know, she's a junior for us right now, and you know, I remember calling her when I first got the job, and we were at the bottom of the ACC when I took over, and you know, just building a relationship with her and talking with her and telling her, you know, the vision that I had for the program and the vision I had for her individually, and that we didn't have the results of the other teams that were in the recruiting race against us at the time. We didn't have the same Sweet 16s and Final Fours and national championships, but that we could get there, you know, and we could build it. And you just have there's a special place for those players because they have belief when not many people do. And it's personal too, because it really comes down to belief in you. You know, like when I first got here, I was a first-time head coach, and you have a lot of people saying like, well, I don't know. You know, there's always naysayers. You know, I don't know if you can do it, or this is the right place, and all those things. And you're really just trying to find the players that believe in you and believe in what you can do. And when you find them early in your tenure, there's just an appreciation and a love for them that I don't think will ever fade. You know, for me, because of that decision that Ashlyn made. And there's many more decisions, obviously. There's many more players that have said yes, but you definitely remember like the first program-changing player that you signed.
That's right.
Yeah.
There's your mama. Rochelle.
They just let anybody out on the court back then. Oh my goodness. This is supposed to be an Elite Eight game?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yep.
Yeah.
To go to the Final Four.
To go to the Final Four, yeah. Yeah. There you are. Final Four.
Game. But this Duke team, even though they have struggled with their offense, it's their defense which has been supreme. Nobody has scored more than 55 points against them in the tournament.
That sounds like us.
That's right. I didn't want to say it, but hey, we went to the Final Four, so it's okay.
There you go. Well, this is one of the more iconic shots, right? Or games.
Monster block by Taurasi getting with the both hands.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Great extra pass.
Yeah.
You can see the film's a little grainy back then.
Yeah, a little bit. No HD.
And a timeout with 37 seconds and change remaining. 11 turnovers, and Duke has responded by scoring 18 points off those 11.
Yeah, that was a struggle offensively as well.
Duke's defense is playing so well on the full court.
Taurasi will inbounds, tied at 65. Battle has it, picked up by Tillis. Boy,
And we love to
trap.
press and
Battle
trap
hits
just
the
like
deck.
you did,
you go.
just like y'all do. So
Yeah.
very similar.
Duke, remember, has no timeouts left.
Beard to Tillis, baseline, back to Curry. 26 on the game clock, no. Battle covers up for UConn.
So is it tied?
Yep, 65,
Yeah,
65.
65.
Boy, dangerous pass. Struthers got the lob from Taurasi.
UConn right now probably take a shot with about 5 or 6 seconds left, so that if they miss, they can get the offensive rebound, knowing that Duke has no more.
It probably
timeouts
killed
left.
Rebecca Lobo that we're going to beat him on the
Yeah,
court.
yeah, right.
5 minutes. Taurasi.
Oh, yeah.
Got it.
This is,
Seen that before.
Duke has to push the ball up the floor. and try
yep,
and
this
work
is
on
the
that
shot
Yeah,
right there. And she was fouled, I might add.
yeah.
At the buzzer.
And they didn't show, but we were down, I think, 19 at halftime.
Really?
Yep. It was a moment of growth for Elena Beard because we had been beaten hard, badly by them several times. So we were down, I think, 19. We got down 21, and I said, second half, we're just pressing, we're running. We're gonna attack. If we go out with a loss, we're going out hard and attacking.
Yeah.
And Elena Beard stood up and she got after her teammate. She never was comfortable doing that. It flipped and changed the whole game.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Well, we don't have any of those highlights yet.
You're getting them.
Oh yeah,
They're coming.
Yeah,
They're coming.
hopefully we'll have some of those soon. But I've put together some clips of our team from this year, and we talk a lot in our program about like winning plays, and being able to do that on offense and defensive end. And so often I think people outside the game of basketball associate a winning play with like Jess Foley's three, like that's a winning play because she made a shot to win the game.
Right.
But as a coach, you really appreciate the effort and the extra thought on offense and defense for our group. And that's one of the things I love about our group this season is they play so hard and they play really together. So we'll see. I think you'll like some of these. So this is,
beautiful.
A lot of people might have missed it, but so T is our point guard, and we've been working with her. You're talking about Elena growing into a leader, and we've been working with T as a junior point guard to grow into a leader and to direct more and command more. And I love this play because she tells Fournier to go. Like Fournier, she's like, go.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna have a layup, go, and then she hits her and then finishes it. And you can see the connection, of the group.
And that's the thing of beauty. When you get your post players going down and your guards finding them.
But we talk a lot about like good shot to great shot, and Cable has a good shot, but Wood's got a great shot and able to knock that down. It's just the unselfishness for our group.
Yeah, making the extra pass. That's what I think. I love watching your team because they share the ball so well.
Sometimes I'm just so proud, like you're sitting there coaching and you're competitive and you're wanting, but when they do things or when they do something that you've been working with them on or the assistants have been working with them on and it is able to manifest itself in the game, that's something that's just really satisfying as a coach.
Yeah, I think when the light bulb comes on, that's one of the most gratifying moments when you see that light bulb come on for a player.
Definitely.
There's really nothing like it.
Definitely. We talk a lot about being first to the floor as a group, and like the player that's the first to the floor is usually the one that gets the ball. So we place a heavy emphasis on it. It's 50-50 balls, right? They can win or lose you games. This is a great one by Richardson on the road, to jumpstart a break for us. There's another first to the floor. and a second first to the floor. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, I want us to be that team
They're
that like is
swarming.
relentless.
Yes.
You know, and is like fighting for every possession. I just, you know, when you're competing, like every possession is an opportunity to turn the game and bend the game in your direction. And so don't waste any of them and find a way to do that for your team.
And I know I've seen you guys also do a great job of taking charges. You know, you're willing to sacrifice. That's the greatest sacrifice in the game of basketball, is taking that charge, and you can see that you're committed to doing that.
We've had to work on it, and you know, the lion's share of the credit goes to the assistants and the players. But you know, we've had to teach it. You know, it's not something that's in the game as much anymore. But we've had to teach it, and some of the players' eyes get really big. Like, you want me to do what?
Elena Beard still has a scar.
Really? From
her
her
take charge drill. Practice guy.
Practice guy.
And it was at shoot around, which that was my mistake.
You were doing a take charge?
Because we didn't take a charge the game before, so she got 9 stitches before the game in shoot around. I was like, what have I done? So, not always the smartest.
Oh man, yeah, we've tried. You know, we're trying to get. Really, the biggest thing is getting them to understand where they're supposed to be. And what I try to talk to them about is on offense and defense. If you're where you're supposed to be, you will see what you should be doing. You know, if you're in the right help side position, the charge, it's not natural, but you'll be in position to take it.
Right.
When you're not where you're supposed to be, you look at me and say, well, Coach, how can I take a charge?
Right.
Yeah, because you're not where you're supposed to be. So we talk a lot about that, and you know, in our summertime and certainly in our practices, it's just a lot of teaching. This age group is amazing. You know, like they're so fun to be around daily, and you get a chance to teach them, and they're so coachable. I mean, I think that's the beautiful thing about coaching at Duke is the type of player that you get to coach here is unique. You know, it's unique. And
For sure.
Well, not just coach here. You get to recruit here, and then ultimately build relationships with. What was that like for you? Like, what did you find? Like, how would you describe to someone if they said to you, you know, what is it like coaching at Duke? What is it like coaching the players here?
It's an incredible gift.
Yeah.
I remember when I first came here, I was an assistant at Purdue, and when I first came here, the players were always, when I would say, let's do this, they'd say, why? Why? And at first I thought they're questioning me, and it took me a little while to understand, no, they just really need to know the why. They're more analytical. They need to know the why. And once they understood, this is why we're doing it, this is what will happen, all of a sudden, it clicked. When they knew the why, then they were going to go all out, and they're committed. And they weren't questioning me, but in their minds, they needed to know that. So it helped me become a much better coach, because everything I did, I was like, here's what we're doing, here's why we're doing it, and here's what the result is going to be if we do this. So I think that was really, it was a joy. I didn't have to worry about what was going on off the court, or were they in trouble, or, you know, these are highly motivated academically, athletically, socially, like they have the highest standards. It allows the coach to coach, which is really what you want to do, instead of try to solve some of these things going on outside that have nothing to do with the game of basketball or their growth as a person.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny you're describing it beautifully, and that's still how it is present day. You know what I mean? That's still the type of players that we have here. Is I mean, they don't only ask me why. Sometimes they'll correct me. They'll say, Coach, this play should be this. You know, and they're right. You know, I'm like, all right, yeah, just run it how you guys think. That's good. Let's do that, right? But I love that. You know, I love that about them, and challenging them to even go deeper, and they know they're going to put the time in to make sure they know. You don't have to motivate them to go to class or do well in school. They're great people off the floor. It's just, it's really the greatest place, you know, and you try to tell people that, and everyone just thinks you're campaigning for your school. Do you know what I mean? Like, because it's natural. Like, if you're a coach at a school, that you would say, like, Duke is the best.
Right.
You know, like, it really is.
It is.
It is. And so you can't for people that haven't been here or people that haven't been inside here, you can try to describe it to them, but that you don't know. And then when you're in here, everything's a possibility.
That's
You
right.
can go anywhere from here, and it's a really, really cool place to be a part of their life at this important stage, and you get a chance to kind of have a front row seat to what's going to be amazing careers for them, not only in basketball, but in life. And I've said this before, like, I can't wait to be old. Do you know what I mean?
I'll tell you.
Yeah. Like, and I say this in an authentic way. One of the greatest gifts of coaching is watching the journey and being able to observe as players go through their life journey, and being able to be a small part of that, and being able to go to weddings, meet kids, see them go on to have professional success and personal success. And I'm still young in it, in the sense that, like, my players are still having successes, but it's
Right.
very early.
Right.
And maybe when I'm older, I'll be like, I should have said that. But I feel like I'm looking forward to that part of the job, of having players come back, of being a part of their lives after the experience here at Duke.
I think that's probably my greatest joy now, is it comes from seeing the women that have come through this program.
Yeah.
And they are the greatest leaders of other women and other people. All of them, in some form or fashion. And it's the teamwork that they enjoyed, it's the leadership that they learned, it's the growth that they had, some of it difficult, some of it joyful. But all of that has led to them becoming just tremendous role models for the youth now that is coming up. And I just look at these women and I'm like, I feel so blessed to have been a part of their, just like you said, a small part of their journey, because they're incredible women. So I don't know how I got so lucky to be here and to have the players and the staff and everybody that I had that was a part of the journey, but it's my greatest gift, truly.
Yeah, it's a special place, and thank you for what you've meant to this program and what you've built, because there's no doubt that this era of Duke women's basketball is able to enjoy some of our success because of the success you've had, right? Because what you had to build, right, hadn't been built yet. And as a coach coming in after you, it's nice to have a reference point. It's nice to have a framework of, like, on those hard days especially, you know what I mean? Like, no, I know we can win here. I know we can win ACC titles. I know we can go to Final Fours. I know we can win a national championship, because I've seen it, and I've seen it done here at a high level for many years. So it's been awesome to have you back on campus, and just appreciate your time, and also appreciate you talking to our players and getting a chance to know them. I know that's been special too.
Absolutely, and I want to thank you and all of the alums, all the coaches that were here for this incredible weekend. I said it's hard to please everybody, and I think every single person that was here felt special and is so grateful that you brought us all back. It's been an amazing experience and a gift to all of us.
Yeah, well, let's do it every year then.
Let's do.